You're listening to Prosperity Report, Love and Money Podcast. I'm your host, Kanae Corder, best-selling author, international speaker, and clinical hypnotherapist specializing in financial therapy. Each week, we'll bring you actionable ideas, tips, tools, and resources to help you get the mindset shift you need to feel more confident personally and financially, so you can reduce stress, work less, and make a huge impact on your world and your income. Now, let's get into today's show. Hey there, my Pros. Welcome to another show. I want to continue our conversation from last week. So I'll recap a little bit, but I also think you should go ahead and listen to the episode from last week, episode 68, same title, just part 1, and begin to set what we call your targets. And you may know them as goals. I explained in the episode why I call them targets. So go ahead and take a listen now. You can listen here first if you like, and then go back, or you can go listen now and then let that one run into this one and finish up, because this isn't just a listen episode, either one of them. It's some action that you're going to take, which is the way I would like every episode to be. Every episode to me should propel you to do something that you either haven't done before or that you have been saying, oh, I need to do that. Oh yeah, I need to do that. And we're kind of reminding you and giving you that kick in the pants that you might need. So let me recap what we talked about last week. We talked about creating annual targets in wealth, wellness, and wow. So your wealth factor, your wellness factor, and your wow factor. If you've been listening for a while, you've heard me say those things before. You already know. You may know your number around wealth and also just how you get there. Now, in the previous episode, we talked about where you focus, because you set the number. Yes, you know what the number is, but you don't focus on that number. The focus is not the money. The focus is the joy, the service, the people, or the things that you will serve. So listen to that episode so you can set your wealth goal. Wellness, you kind of already know that one's not as complicated. That you will focus on. And you get really clear on what it would take to get you to that wellness goal. So if that means going to the gym, like many people set a fitness goal in their wellness, they may set a nutrition goal. I say set a sleep goal, because you think that physical activity and nutrition are going to be the number ones, but they're really not. Sleep is number one. And if you get the right amount of sleep, it kind of makes the other ones easier. So set a sleep goal, and then your wow factor. And this episode is going to be a lot more about your wow factor than anything else. You've got to set your wow goal. What do you want to do with your life? And you think that means like what job, right? No, it means like in many other countries, they may ask you like what you do for fun before they ask you what you do for work. Here in the US, that's like the first question that people ask you, especially in some of the cities that I'm in a lot, Atlanta, LA, New York. That's a conversation that comes up a lot. I'd say you be the example. You start to switch and you begin to talk about your weekend more. So you know how you get to work, even if you own your own company, everybody's, how was your weekend? Well, what if your weekdays were just as awesome as your weekends? So what if after work on Thursday, you went to a dance class? Of course, that's me, like I said in the last episode. Or maybe on a Thursday, you play golf with your colleagues or friends. What if you go to a spa every Tuesday, or the movies every Tuesday? That's something I used to do. So stop making the weekend the only time you get to enjoy your life. I know people are saying, Kanae, that's easier said than done. I know. I didn't say it was easy. I'm just saying these are some simple changes that you can make, essential changes that you can make that are going to add value to your life. And it's going to reduce your stress. Remember, I'm just telling you how to reduce your stress. I'm not telling you how to live the American dream, because the American dream to me can be an American nightmare. And we're going to talk a lot more about that next week. because there are some changes coming, and they're all around this American nightmare that we sometimes create in our lives and then don't know how to get out of. What an experience that is. But that's what I do. That's what I do for a living. I go into your life, or if you're a company I'm working with, go into a company and change the culture in that company, change the culture in your life. So it's not all about the stressful things. It's about the peaceful things as well, the meaningful things. Ask this question: what would it take? Instead of how do I do that? The how question just causes more stress. I said that in the last episode and I explained why. And then I had you do a visualization. Visualize your target. Like, just imagine if you were going to shoot a bullseye with an arrow, you would visualize that arrow going through the air and then hitting right in the middle, like you could see it. And I know not everybody can imagine, but you can sense what that would be like, right? And so I'm saying to do that with your targets as well. And then that feeling that you feel when it hits the target, what does that feeling feel like? Like, get familiar with that feeling and declare it. Set it, it's yours. Just believe it, as you have heard me say many times before. Believe it and you'll soon see it. You've got to believe it. Got to believe it. So the two things that I want to do today is to focus on the smaller milestones to reach your targets and to really drill down into this wow factor. Those are the targets that you are setting most of all. The targets for wow come first. If you get those on the calendar, if you get those in your life, you will have less stress, you will have more peace, and you will enjoy the journey towards all of your other targets. Now, this episode is as much for me as it is for you. I know this stuff. I teach this stuff, but the reason why I teach this stuff is because it's what I need to learn. This is where I can get out of sync. Like, my life can get out of sync because I'll start focusing on the 1,000 members we want to get in our club and not focus that I have to have some enjoyment in my life. I have to have the right amount of wow in my life in order for me to serve. And so I'm always reminding myself of that. Always, always, always. So I'm asking you to do the same. If you're anything like me and achievement comes first, like getting those wealth goals and getting the wellness goals in before you get the wow goals in. Now, I toggle between wellness and wow. I put wow on the calendar first because I've learned that if it's not on the calendar first, I won't have the energy I need to get it done or to enjoy it. Really, it's not even to get it done. I get to do it. I'm excited about doing my wow stuff, but if I put it last, I'm not as excited. So I am encouraging you to put wow on your calendar first, because if you put wealth on there first, you'll be so burnt out by the time you get to wow. And wellness is important, super important, because wow and wellness can sometimes overlap, because sometimes my dance or even my things I do for workout are part of my wow factor as well. So your wow factor, let's go deeper there. It's the things that are really important to you. I mean, like really, really important. So you know how in the first episode, part 1, we had a question that you needed to ask yourself, the most important question to set your targets. Well, there's a most important question around wow. And the most important question around wow is, what lights my soul? Like, what really warms my heart so much that it like almost brings tears or just like a certain feeling to your body. What is that? So that may be spending time with your family. That may be you on the golf course. That may be you in dance like me. That could be time at the beach. Maybe that's what you enjoy, surfing, swimming, whatever it is. You know it. You're thinking about it right now. It popped right in your head as soon as I said what warmed your soul. That goes on your calendar first. Now, for me, there are a couple of goals that I set for this 2020. So I spend a lot more time in LA than I had been in the past. Well, I used to live in LA, but in the last couple of years since I moved to Atlanta, I hadn't been there, but I've got a couple of clients in LA now. And I have favorite restaurants in Atlanta. So just so you know, it's Eclipse de Luna and a place called Salad Express. So Salad Express is where I go when it's quick. Eclipse de Luna is where I go to sit down, but I always win when I go to Eclipse de Luna. Something you probably know about me is I don't like restaurants because my dietary regimen is so specific and it doesn't work well in the US unless I'm in LA where I can go to a restaurant. But even then it's tough. So my goal is to find my 2 favorite restaurants in LA. That has to happen. I will have to ask myself, like, what would it take? It takes me going to some restaurants, which I don't really enjoy, but I'll have to go to some and get some recommendations and ask around and hang out with friends there. And I think I found one already, but we'll talk about that later when I confirm. And then a dance class. I have to find a dance class in LA. I found a place in Atlanta, but I have to find a new place. So I'll have to find a new place in Atlanta since I'm kind of splitting my time between the 2 places. I have to have my places. Otherwise, I won't do it. So some of the milestones that I have to hit first are to first find those places. But I'm really into Lyra right now, trapeze, and this new thing that I found out about called Zouk. It's a Brazilian dance. Because I was bored with my workout routine. It was just like so boring. I've done it a million times over the 20 years. And I changed up my workout routine, but I got bored with it. So I wanted some movement. And Lyra is a workout and it's dance and it's fun. So same with trapeze. Zouk, I would say you feel it, like your body feels it because it's a lot of movement, upper and lower. But I feel more like I've worked out when I do Lyra. So I want to make sure I'm getting those things in first and then the other stuff. Now, there's this thing I call couch time. And that's when I just sit on the couch and just talk to my friends. We may eat food, we may drink, whatever, but it's really about the time that we spend together and not talking about anything specific, especially not work. Now, I may catch them up on what's new at Presidential and they may catch me up what's new with their companies. A lot of my friends do own their own companies, which is exciting, which is what I am working on that I'll announce next week, a way that I can help you get more friends that do what you do. Because one of the things that probably stresses you out a lot is that you don't have friends or, a group of people that do what you do. You might feel isolated. So I'm going to show you a way that you can get through that so it doesn't feel that way for you. The other thing, I like to cook for my friends. I like to cook, period. So that has to happen. That warms my heart. That lights my soul. But I like to cook for people. So I have to get that on my schedule. And it may not be weekly, it may be monthly. So I'm not saying that everything you do that warms your soul has to happen weekly. No, not necessarily. Like maybe you volunteer once a month and that kind of stuff just warms your soul to be able to do that. So just know that you make this right for you and continue to ask yourself, like, what would it take? But also continue to ask yourself, what warms my soul? What lights my soul? What warms my heart? Ask yourself that question because that is the way that you're going to get free from stress. If you want to be free from stress, you've got to go to what lights your soul first. And when you do that, oh my gosh, it will add so much value to your life. And all the other stuff becomes so much easier. When you do your wow factor first, you have so much more energy to do your wellness and especially your wealth stuff first. So if you do that first, you don't burn out. You don't stress out. You enjoy the work. You enjoy the journey. That's pretty much what I want to give you for today. I want you to just focus on that wow because you're an overachiever. You're going to hit those other goals. You probably won't hit these goals. This is why I want you to focus on the wow. You probably won't do enough date nights. You probably won't spend enough time with your children. You probably won't do enough of those dance classes or golf. And like some people have it down. I get it. You're listening. You're like, nope, I do that well. Well, great. Then you can tell us how you do it. So one of the things that I'm going to talk more about next week is some changes that are coming. One of those changes is that I want to hear more from you. I need to hear more from you. I do. So I'm going to set up a way for you to leave me messages. You can either email them to me or you can record it and attach the recording to the email. Now, when I say recorded, I don't mean like an hour long podcast. I don't want to receive a podcast back from you. What I'd like is something, 1 to 2, 3 minutes tops, where you just tell us what's on your mind so that we can make sure that this next season is so tailored to you. It's exactly what you're looking for. So I'm asking you, listen to next week's episode when I'm going to tell you exactly how you can get that to me. The other thing, if you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Do that. That way you can hear all the new things that are happening. And I'll give this little piece away, but I want you to come back next week for the rest. Why that's so important is because our name is changing. So if you're not already subscribed, subscribe. Because if you go and you normally just search for us, you'll think we don't have a new episode out when we do. Now, I don't know what all goes into what we're about to do. So like we always do our presidential updates, we'll do one of those for you, telling you what this process was like, shifting this podcast and even just shifting we're not doing a restructuring. We did that already earlier this year, but we are rebranding, and a name change for the podcast is one of those things that go into the rebranding. And it's tough because this brand has been our brand for a while. But if you think about it, every company rebrands from time to time, and it's our time. So go with us, go on this journey with us, and then we'll share it with you, because one of the things we do for companies is help them rebrand and change the culture in the company. And that might be what you need in your company and why you're not fulfilled in what you're doing, because it may be time for a shift, and it may be time for a shift in your life. And that's why I want you to shift to focusing on the wow factor first. So write that statement down somewhere. The wow factor first. Post it up on your mirror, your whiteboard, in your car, whatever, wherever. The wow factor first. If you do that first, you will be so proud of yourself. You know why? Because you're going to reach all of your goals. Yeah, you will hit every single target that you set if you do the wow factor first. Yes, I do know this for sure. And I want to be there with you. So remember how last week I said, if you want to share your targets with us in writing, we can hold you accountable. We can celebrate with you. I know you really don't need accountability on the wealth goals, but I'm talking about these wow goals, these wow targets. If you really want to hit your wow targets, you're probably going to need a team of people behind you, with you, reporting and rewarding and celebrating. So go ahead and go to KeneCorder.com and tell me all about your wow factor targets. I can't wait to hear them. I'm really looking forward to hearing how you're going to hit your wow factor. When you go to KeneCorder.com/target, you're going to complete a little form that will describe your wow factor. Kind of like how I said, I'm looking for a new restaurant. I want to take dance. And I'm specifically looking for Lyra, Trapeze, Zouk. And so you be that specific. You tell me what you're looking for. Not only will it help you because you're writing it down, but also it'll help us if we know somebody or we know a way you can do that, then we can share that with you. And we're going to read every single one of them. So don't think you're doing this in vain. We will read every single one of them. Me or somebody on my team, we will go through them. We'll look at your wow factors. We will be sure to congratulate you as you accomplish them, as you put them on your schedule and do them every single week or month or whatever it's your schedule. So you set it. Well, we'll celebrate with you and just enjoy the journey with you. All right. So pretty much that is our episode for today. I'll just do a short recap, and that is go back and listen to last week's episode if you didn't. If you did, then you know what to do from those to-dos. I also want you to think about the 2 things for today, the smaller milestones that you need to hit in order to get to those big targets. What you can do is break down your annual goal into a quarterly goal. So you know how to do that. Divided by 2, then divided by 2 again to get that quarterly goal. Because you want to, let's say, for instance, your goal was $1 million this year, but that means you need $250,000 in the quarter. so focus on that. And you may even want to focus on the month, what you need for that month. So break it down into smaller milestones so that you can hit the targets by focusing on just the smaller ones, not that big number, because sometimes a bigger number can be daunting and you start to call BS. Your brain starts to call BS, especially if you hit 1 million and you've been at 1 million for a while and now you're trying to go to 5 million or something, then your brain is going to be like, no, you can't do that because we've been at 1 million for so long. How will we do that? We've been trying. It'll call BS, and you don't want your brain to call BS. So focus on the smaller milestones. Those are the little small tasks that you need to do, but also just the smaller number that you need to hit. Kind of like us, when we're thinking about 1,000 members a year, that breaks down to about, I think it was like 85 or something like that a month. And so if we just focus on that, so much less stressful. And that's why I want you to focus on the smaller, because it reduces your stress. Because this is what this is all about, reducing your stress. I'm always going to go back to that. And if you need that, then you're in the right place, because that's where I want to go back to every single time we come up with something to do. That is why you're doing it. So you don't have to worry about, will this, because yes, it's innately baked into everything I say, because that is my priority. Peace is my priority. And I want to help you make peace your priority. So come back next week when I'll tell you all of the new things that are happening. And for those of you who don't like change, I promise this will not upset you. You will actually enjoy this change. You'll be like, yes, this is so awesome and good. And I want some of that. And I want to do that. Tell me how you did it. Okay. So I will see you next week. In the meantime, subscribe and have a prosperous week, my Prospros. Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you want more love and money conversations, subscribe to this podcast. Also, tell your friends about us. I'll see you next episode. But in the meantime, head on over to KeneCorder.com for more tips, tools, and resources. And go ahead and leave us a comment if you like. We'd love to hear from you. This show is not to replace professional counsel. The best advice comes from a professional you know. The topics discussed in this podcast are general in nature and are for entertainment and informational purposes only. We encourage you to meet with a professional to discuss your specific situation, whether financial or therapeutic. That's all for now. I'll see you sooner. Remember, no matter what anybody ever tells you, you can have wealth in all of its forms. Believe it, and you will soon see it.